What's up, Nitro Gang? Today, we are gonna be making Nitro great again. And there's only one way that you could possibly do that. I am going to be buying more vintage Nitros. The more I buy, the more gets run, the more end up on the used market. And it's a self-fulfilling circle, kind of like the Nitro Gang prophecy. I'm in my Prius right now, and I'm about to go drive and pick these two, yes, I said two RCs up. Nitro World Order.
Well, the first thing you gotta realize, brother, is this right here is the future of
Nitro.
You can call this the
Nitro
World Order, brother.
The Nitro Gang out here is up to buying two RCs at a time. Thanks so much to the Patreon supporters. You guys are making this a possibility. And for the newcomers, I have just recently added a membership option right below this video. There's a join button. Click the join button. There's 3 levels of memberships. The cheapest one is $2.99. There's some special perks you get there. I can guarantee you all of the money from the memberships will go directly to making Nitro great again. By, of course, you already know, buying more vintage Nitros. One of the RCs I'm trying to pick up today is directly out of this RC magazine. No, it's not the Traxxas T-Max. I already have about 3 of them. It's something I have never owned before, and I guarantee you, you're gonna be excited when I pick it up. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about what I'm expecting. So I'm getting 2. I'm expecting to pay 200 bucks for the both of them. One is a very nice HPI Nitro RS4. Take a look at some of these pictures. The asking price is $75. It comes with a fairly nice looking Porsche body. I don't see any major cracks. I see some very important upgrades, and this is something you guys have to always check out when you're looking at the pictures of old RCs. There's a 2-speed baby. The front has aluminum hubs. I could also kind of tell in the back there are aluminum suspension arms. The rest, you have a stock looking either 15 FE engine or the 12 FE engine. Either way, it's a pull start, and that's what I like about it. Now, the second RC, I'm gonna show you in this magazine. Notice I have a tab right over here. Oh, what's that? Fit, Scale, or Bust RC, guys. Go to his channel, subscribe. He sent me these stickers. If there's room on the Prius, I'll put them on here later. But let's open it up and see what we're gonna get. Oh yeah, here we go. This has been my Nitro dream car for a very long time. This is the Yokomo GT4 with the Porsche body. Now, you see here on the bottom, 60 miles per hour, baby. That's right. Brand new, these sold for about $350, but oftentimes when you went to the hobby stores, they were at $299 for the ready to run. The one I'm getting will have the Mazda Veilside RX-7 body. You gotta love that RX-7, you know what I'm saying? It's one of the best RC bodies in the world. A very interesting chassis. Of course, it has that 2-speed baby. It has a .18 pull start engine, and at the time, a .18 right here, they call it the RX-18. That was pretty big because a lot of Nitros, even the T-Max, came with a .15. So you had a 10 scale Nitro touring car with a .18 baby. Not quite a big block, but you were pretty much top dog in terms of engine displacement in a 1/10 scale Nitro. And today, I will be getting the both of them. Car horn went off. Just a little while ago, one of my neighbors was watering the cement in the front of their house. Why do people water the cement in front of their house? I know it's a hot day. I'm sweating bullets over here, you know, trying to keep the noise level down in the Prius by not running the air conditioner. But why do people water, or I guess in their head try to clean the pavement, which is generally cement, in the front of their houses? I do not get it. There's no grass, it's just pavement. Anyway, back to the Yokomo GT4. There are a couple very good pictures attached. I see it comes with 2 bodies. One of them is the original Mazda Veilside RX-7 body. It's missing the wing, but other than that, the body seems to be in okay condition in terms of not having any major dents. Once I wash it, you know, it should be okay. Now, the chassis, the main thing I was looking for was whether the 2-speed gears gears were stripped. And you could see here, I did a lot of zooming in and cropping and editing so you guys could get a clear view of that 2-speed baby. This does of course have plastic gears, but the gears seem to be in okay condition. There isn't much information other than, you know, the car's in good condition. But basically, let me just tell you, almost every seller says the car is in very good condition, and a lot of times they add about 50% speed to the claimed top speed, but this guy says 60 miles per hour, and yes, it is claimed to do 60 miles per hour. So I'm very happy with that claim. I do not know what else comes with the car. Personally, I do not care about the radios because I will eventually just wind up putting in my own FlySky GT5. All that matters are the gears on that 2-speed and whether or not the motor has compression. But that's one of those things, you know, I don't really like to interrogate sellers when I feel like I'm getting a fair price. I just go there, I take the risk, I show up, I buy it, and then I restore them. And that is the ultimate way to make Nitro great again. And in this case, we're aiming to make on-road 1/10 scale Nitro great again. You know, I follow HPI's Instagram page, and every single comment I leave is, help the Nitro Gang make Nitro great again, re-release the HPI Super Nitro RS4. Not one time did they ever respond to me. So I want you guys to flood HPI's Instagram, tell them what the Nitro Gang's message is, and you know what? Tell them to become my Patreon supporters because I think they owe me by now. Who else is making Nitro great again as it was back in the early 2000s? All right, the next time you see me, I better have these 2 Nitros with me, or else you will know that the deal didn't go down, and in which case I will be very pissed. Let's roll. We did it, Nitro Gang. I have a giant crate full of vintage 1/10 scale Nitros. If you add up all the speeds here, you're gonna get a 4-speed baby, and of course no celebration is ever complete without some amazing Chinese food. This is chicken and broccoli. I'm gonna eat some of this right now. Ba-boom! HPI Nitro RS4 2 with a 2-speed baby. Ba-boom! There we go. Yokomo GT4 ready to run another 2-speed baby. This is a box full of Nitros. Did anybody order up a full tray of Nitro? Oh, I guess it was just me. Well, let's go over them while we have them here. I decided to do this video outside, unless of course, you know, the AC compressor goes on, in which case it'll get noisy, but it doesn't matter because these Nitros are making me feel very good. I did some work. I washed the bodies in the sink. I'll put some pictures here as we're going along, so make sure you understand I washed these bodies. In fact, this Porsche one, I put some WD-40 on it, so it's extremely shiny. This is a super awesome Toyota Super body. Look at those lights. This is what this car is known for. I can tell it's freshly painted. There are no body holes that are drilled yet, but we got ourselves a Super, baby. Okay, let's put this body to the side. We have radios here. I'll check them in a second. This is an HPI Nitro RS4 2. Let's take the body off. Oh, there's a pipe here, kind of causing trouble. Here we go. I basically have a very similar one compared to this, the one that I drift in the intro to almost all of my videos. This one is a little cooler, I would say, just because it has the original 15 FE motor with this very vintage style cooling head. I also cleaned this in the sink. I used a Brillo pad, so don't think that it was this shiny when I first picked it up. I basically just cleaned a little bit of the chassis. It has that 2-speed baby, of course. None of the gears look stripped. The motor does have a very good compression. Check this out. I'll show you guys the compression on this. Pretty adequate compression for an old motor like this. And these old 0.15 motors, they were ABN design, not ABC, so over time you have pretty high compression losses. Even if people ran about a gallon to 2 through them, you would notice an obvious decrease in compression. This one is okay. It also came with very old fuel here, but no big deal. I'm going to clean this in a little bit. Now the electronics, I will show you guys. Just for now, this comes with, honestly, one of my favorite vintage radios from the time, the Futaba Magnum FM Junior, baby. Gonna power this thing on. Let's turn it on. We're gonna check out some vintage Nitro electronics. Look at that steering. It's on point. It's on point. Even the throttle servo. Ain't nothing wrong with that, baby. So electronics in this thing are good to go. I'm quite happy that it has this Tenergy rechargeable 6-volt pack. I'll put a link for this receiver pack in the description to this video. I use this on almost all of my RCs. You can get this on Amazon. Very good receiver packs. Now it rolls, I would say, okay, but there is a little bit of a belt friction. Now keep in mind, I went through all of the pulleys with this belt system and I pulled out about 4 pebbles from the belts. It still has some friction, but over time, if you notice, if you take a close look at the belt here, there are abrasions and the belt is frayed. That's usually because it's old, and over time there's just little pebbles that get into the pulley and it just destroys the belt. This one has some very good upgrades. We have front aluminum steering knuckles. The whole rear, very good use of very important aluminum upgrades. We have a Wolfpack rear shock tower. This is one of the brands that was pretty much top of the line back then when you had anything HPI. We have aluminum rear suspension arms, normal dog bones in the back. The 2-speed I already mentioned. Motor is original. I do notice a slight issue, and I gotta say I'm not very happy about this. So these older motors, notice there's a space here for an engine mount. So there is no engine mount here. Now sometimes you can get an adjustable engine mount. The reason I say this is because the motor is secured with these 4 screws. Now they are not adjustable, but right next to them, you know, you have these larger screws. This is where the adjustment would happen if you had the adjustable motor mounts. Problem is, I cannot adjust the gear mesh between the clutch bell and the spur gear, and it is very, very close. So I might look into getting the adjustable motor mount in the future. But my first overview and inspection of this thing, it's complete. It has compression. The 2-speed gears are not stripped. I still have to do a lot of repair on this. By the way, I did look inside the motor. Take a look at this picture. The piston cylinder, they're clean, baby. I put some oil in there, but I will still have to disassemble the carb, take a look inside, because, you know, I was doing some investigation and look at that. It is very dirty in there. So that's just gummed up fuel over time. That's what happens if you leave fuel in your fuel tank. Now, I probably will be removing this engine, giving it a thorough clean, including removing the carburetor, cleaning it individually. But eventually, this thing is gonna be a runner, baby. Why? Because you just cannot kill a nitro. And now, let's move on to the star of the show right here, the Yokomo GT4, the one that I drove with this RC magazine on the dashboard the whole freaking way there. And you know what? It was pretty fun. Of course, it caused a little bit of glare there on the windshield, but we made it. Prius got close to 60 miles a gallon, and now we have ourselves a .18, 60 miles per hour, 2-speed baby, Yokomo GT4 with this Mazda RX-7 Veil side body, baby. Let's remove the cover and we'll take a look inside. The body is in normal condition. I also cleaned this one up a little bit. I removed the cooling head. Of course, I always like to check inside the condition of the motor, put some after-run oil, and it should be good to go. In fact, I might even start it up at the end of this video, depending on how I feel. Let's check some compression here. We have adequate compression. Pretty good. One-way bearing is not slipping. That's good news to me. I did notice another issue, but I will get to that in a little bit. I cleaned the fuel tank really well. I took it out of the car, you know, washed it with soap and water, and now it is basically spotless. Some of the first things I do when I get any nitro, I wash the body, check inside of the motor, oil it up, clean the fuel system, inspect the air filter. In this case, we have a really bad looking sponge in there. This will have to get replaced. But the 2-speed itself seems to be in okay condition. It spins freely on its own like this, but I did notice a situation. So as I'm rolling it forward, there is really heavy driveline tension. Let's check out the bottom of the chassis. This will have to get inspected later on. So this Yokomo has a really cool 3mm chassis. This was very similar to like what Mugen and Serpent would use. Basically, you have a whole bunch of cutouts, and if you look at the chassis from this top-down perspective, you could see that the whole goal is to get the weight as close to the center as possible. Even the battery pack, which is just running 4 AA's, it's mounted basically all the way in the middle of the chassis along with the fuel tank. Now this is how Serpents, you know, the ones that are the best of the best in the 1/8 scale nitro on-road, that's how they run. In the front, you have a, what do they call the suspension? I think they said it somewhere. They have a ball adjustable suspension here in the front. Well, that's fine. 3-piece clutch. The only non-original thing I see on this chassis is the pipe. So the pipe is from an HPI. Now, normally, these did also come with a plastic tuned pipe that said Yokomo on it. It was a dual tuned muffler pipe. So obviously that means dual chamber tuned pipe. This also uses a 3-belt drive system, very similar to the RS4 and the Fortec of the time. Belts in 1/10 scale nitro, they were a thing during this time period. Now I have to go over this entire drivetrain, check out what's going on. It looks like the front was in some fairly heavy impact. I could tell that the bumper mount here is damaged, and also when I spin this wheel, notice the dog bone. The dog bone is actually a little bit crooked. So yeah, it looks like it was damaged. It spins okay from what I can tell in my testing. Let's take a look at the bottom here. So the front, I'm surprised to see this. It has a legitimate spool. So that is not a diff, that's a spool in the front. In the back, we have a normal diff. This car will need a little bit more work, you know, to get it kind of rolling free here, because it is really tight. And the brakes are not engaged at all. I did check the electronics. You know what? You want me to check the electronics? I'll do it for you guys. We have this old school, you know, cheapo radio. A lot of these RCs came with radios just like this during that time frame. So let's check out the steering. Well, we got steering, okay? Let's check out the throttle. Throttle's fine, brake is fine. When I get serious about actually testing speed, hitting that 2-speed baby, I will of course upgrade to the FlySky GT5 radio that I use in all of my videos. But other than that, you know, the chassis is complete. The front end damage I really don't care about. I have to sort out the rear here. We got ourselves a pair of vintage nitros, guys. This is the only way you're gonna make nitro great again. By becoming a Patreon supporter, joining this channel, $2.99. Check that button there right below this video, click it, and you could be a Nitro Gang fan, a supporter, and I guarantee you, all the money I get will go directly towards making nitro great again. And of course, once in a while, Chinese food, because, you know, that just basically motivates you to do more nitro. Should I go start this up? What do you think? Maybe I'll put a little running clip here, just of it idling, you know, nothing crazy, because we have too much driveline drag going on now. We don't want to kill another vintage nitro. They have to live forever. In fact, I might pass this down to someone in the future. Who knows? If you smell what the Nitro Gang is cooking.
dress so fine, but her breath is like, whoa. She say she wanna dance, but she don't know how to.
Nitro World Order.
Nitro World Order.